and smell of the Indian, I thought, well, no, I'm going next. Some cat.
Yeah. Ready for that, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah.
Probably not a good game to throw them on. I suppose you can. Just try not to crash the fish, yeah?
Just remember, you've got the right.
Right.
Hello. You alright? Well, it says that I'm waiting for you to sign in. Okay.
I'll check that out. On the Foster.
Yeah, when did you send me a new one? Because the one that I got this morning was no. I mean, that's one I'm in.
So it's falling.
So we go.
Have you got the meeting ID? Because I've got it here.
So they think
Yeah, I think so. That's more, that one.
Just waiting for Jill.
that's why I don't listen.
We have a technical issue.
I think that might be my alarm.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can see you now. I can see you, GP.
I heard that, but I don't know if it was an alarm.
Thank
It's
you.
a bit-
around here.
I had a
It's
double
not
beep.
like it's still up to date.
Sorry?
No, it wasn't a proper alarm. It was just
Oh,
it's a beep beep.
Oh, it is.
It
no,
sounded
that's
like
just, that was in here.
Oh,
That's
right.
that goes in here, I believe.
I don't know.
Muted you. Hang on.
Didn't hear that, did you?
Is Jan definitely on it?
Last night she was. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, I can hear you. Can hear you as well. Okay, we've got Joe and Jake from Tritax. Jake, one member of the public.
Yeah.
Then we've got GS, MV, IG, CM, SB, and TP.
Got it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
So you're Cllr.
we got it right. You're our Cora, yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's alright.
Alright.
How did you hear that?
A really sharp hearing to the left. Yeah, I'm really bad on the right.
It's a good job it's up there.
Right, we ready, everyone? You got your breath back a little minute?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Welcome everybody to the extraordinary Parish Council meeting of Dunchurch Parish Council. We'll start as usual. Photographing, reporting, recording, filming or transmitting the proceedings of a meeting may occur, and therefore all persons participating in the meeting should be aware that such recording, reporting or filming may take place. Members of the public attending the meeting but are not participating in the meeting who do not wish to be filmed or photographed in the meeting must state this at the start of the meeting.
Can I interrupt?
You can?
I'm aware, Mr. Waller, that you're recording as you do, which is absolutely fine. My son's over there, he's a minor. You do not have my consent to either video him or post anything of him online. Thank you.
Well, ensure that he stays out of shot then, please.
Okay, he's been told that if he doesn't, I'm advising you that you don't have my consent to share any of his stuff on YouTube, social media or any other platform. Thank you.
Just out of interest from my position, in terms of the recording, where does this end up?
We're not recording. It will end up on YouTube.
So if you're on YouTube, you just want to know where you plan on taking the recording?
Anywhere I choose.
Okay, I don't want to be on the camera, if that's okay. Just if that's okay.
Yeah. You confirm
I think you're out of view, but
That's
you will be
fine.
heard. You will be heard.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
That's good, thank you. Did you pick that up, Joe? I'll fill you up on that. We have 3 representations on that. On the
Can I
film.
suggest, if
Thank
the child
you.
comes in shot, that you adjourn the meeting till he's taken out?
We will absolutely do that.
Okay, so will you be able to tell me about those afterwards?
I will do, yes. We'll just have a catch up.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll go on to the public participation session. Members of the public are invited to give their views on the agenda on start again, give their views on items on this agenda, including planning applications or raise issues for consideration at the discretion of the Chair. No decisions will be made in this part of the meeting. The public participation session is a general forum for open discussion, after which members of the public will have no further opportunity to speak unless invited to do so by the Chair. This is strictly limited to 3 minutes per resident. Total time to be allowed 15 minutes. Does any member of the public wish to make any comment?
Well, Paul Waller, resident, just to point out that the agenda was on the internet on the 27th of May, and the document to be downloaded on March, and the document to be downloaded was created the same day, the 27th, but it is actually physically dated 24th, so I'm not clear what notice you're trying to give.
So we give 3 clear working days notice.
But you've got to post it, you've got to put it in the public domain 3 clear working days.
Which is what we did.
No, how can you if the document has been created on the 27th for a meeting on the 29th?
I know exactly when it went on because I did it, and I know what time it was posted, and I actually posted it on the notice board the same evening.
Somebody,
3 clear working days.
Somebody has uploaded to the Dunchurch Parish Council website a document that was created on the 27th of March.
You just said the 24th of March it was created and posted on the 27th.
No, I did not.
You did?
I did not.
I've written it down.
24th of March it was posted on the
Well, I'll review the recording. The 24th of March is the date on the document. The 27th of March is in the properties of the PDF. The PDF was created about 9 o'clock on the 27th and uploaded to the Parish Council website on the 27th. Somebody's amended it.
Well, there's nothing different to it because I haven't amended it at all, and I posted it to give 3 clear working days notice because we did it all that day and it was all sorted. We weren't sure it was going to be Wednesday or Thursday. So there we go. It was 3 clear working days notice.
And Parish Council's practice is to include Saturday as a working day.
It is, and that's a legal practice. Saturday is a working day.
It might be legal, but it's not common. So.
Well, I'm sorry, but according to Now and Well, Saturday is a working day. So there we go. Is that all you have to say this evening?
As per your usual practice, there are no papers published for the benefit of anybody to see what the business is. So we don't know what.
Well, all will be revealed very shortly. The councillors have all had sight of anything that we have to, and this was brought up at the last meeting in the Clerk's report.
Well, they said it all. The councillors have had sight of all the information, but the public hasn't.
The public are welcome to attend the meeting like you have, Mr. Wall.
Sorry?
The public are welcome to attend the meeting like you have, Mr. Wall.
Papers for the meeting, anything that's in writing that's been disclosed and distributed for the purposes of coming to a decision in public, there's no reason to withhold it.
Is there any legal reason that we have to as well, though? I know you're saying...
I'll refer you back to your clerk. I mean, that's what she's been engaged to do.
Back to the clerk again. Right, thank you very much. That's just 3 minutes. Thank you. Moving on to the agenda. Item 1, apologies. To receive apologies and prove reasons for absence. So we've got Howie.
Yeah.
John Marlow, Jan G. Russell. That's it. So I propose that we receive the apologies, we accept the apologies and no reasons for absence. Unanimously. Yeah, Cara, second. Can we take a vote, please? Unanimous. Okay, item number 2, declarations of interest and dispensations. Cara, do you have anything? No. Simon, no. I don't have anything. Gary, no. Ian, no. Matt, no. Nothing from anyone, Jill.
Okay.
Item number 3, Symmetry Rugby AMPR cameras to discuss and if appropriate approve the installation of AMPR cameras to Dunchurch Parish Council lamp columns 5 and 6 Coventry Road, Dunchurch. So, do you want to start, Simon?
Is it worth just giving an overview on
Go for it.
Yeah, well,
just
I was just about to ask.
because symmetry means probably nobody to anybody. So first and foremost, thank you all for coming and arranging this meeting today. I know it's out of sync with the usual parish council meetings. It's a special situation, so thank you for creating this, and whoever's on the Teams call as well, thank you. I think firstly just to explain who we are, what we do, why we're here, and all of the above. So we work for a company called Tritax Symmetry. Tritax Symmetry is the development arm of a company called Tritax Big Box. And Tritax Big Box is a real estate investment trust, which is a FTSE 250 business. So their whole strategy is around investing in large-scale logistic warehouses to tenants such as Amazon, DHL, DPD, all the household names that we know. And their view is that they invest in these properties because it's to excellent occupiers that are likely to stay there for a long time, and therefore their investors, which are typically pension funds, get a lot of, I guess, comfort that this is quite a secure investment. So we are the investment arm for them. We essentially go out, we acquire land, we take land through the planning process, hopefully get a consent, and then we build sustainable buildings that then get passed on into the REIT, and they then become an income producing asset, which will then produce income for pension funds that I'm sure many people are involved with. So there's two types of developers. You get somebody who builds a building and then will sell it, take up the money and move on to the next project. But we are long-term holders within the industry. So we envisage our developments being held for anywhere from sort of 15, 20, 25 years, because we are all about long-term income and following that journey. We've been involved at rugby now since 2014. We signed an option with a local farmer, and we worked through the planning process with rugby to get it allocated within the local plan in 2019. And that forms part of the wider SUE that we're all aware of, with 5,000 homes, and we control the employment part, and also we've got some residential parts as well, which you're probably aware of, Coulston Phase 1 and Coulston Phase 2 that are currently in the planning process. We have recently signed a pre-let with a company called R Mountain for 1 million square foot across 4 buildings, which takes out half of the development. R Mountain are a huge company globally that specialise in information systems and document storage. So it's anything from government documents all the way through to wills and various important documents that need to be held for, say, 15 years and called upon as and when it's needed. The reason they've chosen rugby is they see it as an excellent location with its proximity to the M1, the M6, and on what we call the Golden Triangle, which essentially you can reach 85% of the population within a 4-hour drive time. So it's a great location for logistics, as you're aware of all the different areas around here where there are logistic warehouses. So within the development, we have to comply with various conditions which is set out by Rugby Borough Council. This is all around construction management plans, biodiversity net gain, all the usual things that you would be accustomed to. And one of the things is a ANPR, which is a camera that captures vehicles that are going in locations that they shouldn't be going into. And one of the areas with which this is focused on is Dunchurch Crossroads. As we know, as residents, it's quite a political area where the traffic is cause of concern for you guys. So what we're trying to do, and working with Rugby Borough Council, is that we want to stop any of our HGVs coming into Dunchurch. We want them to go out the gate, turn right, and either join the M1 to go south to London, or cut through and go up to the M6 north. We don't want anybody to come through Dunchurch Crossroads. Whilst I don't want that, it's quite hard to police in practice. So the ways we get around this is we install cameras that do recognition on the registration numbers, and then we have technology. We partner with a company called Anchor that will put the cameras around. They have a software system, and then the registration number gets sent to our management company that looks after the park, and they say, right, X vehicle has gone through Dunchurch Crossroads, they're not allowed to go there. We then issue a fine to that driver personally to say, you're going to get fined now because you've breached the condition that you're not allowed to do this, and therefore they will stop doing that. And the key thing here is that it gets passed on to the business, and then who then gets the driver, because that is the key thing, because they will feel the pain personally. So Jake will go on to the strategy behind that, but I just want to give you guys some comfort that we're doing this as a preventive measure to stop them coming into the village. So in an ideal world, we wouldn't have to do it because they would respect that, but we need to police this, And whilst I appreciate cameras probably aren't the most, you know, appetising thing, it is massively in the interest of the village to allow this to happen. We do it in Princethorpe as well, so there's areas of sensitive concern by residents we're trying to prevent. So that's why we're here. You know, I think going forward we need to speak to you more. We don't want to be giving you surprises like this and expecting a week turnaround. It's not fair on you guys. You guys are very busy and you've got better things to do than deal with this organisation. So going forward, we need to catch up more often. We can take you for a tour down the site, show you what we're up to, and as a park, you know, we've got some real good interest, and the benefits, hopefully, locally to rugby, to the council, to jobs, to rates, is really positive. And for us, all our buildings are very sustainable. We're net zero carbon. We're biodiversity net gain. We're trying to do as much as we can locally to create something that's obviously good for the future. So that's who we are. Appreciate that's a whistle-stop tour, and I probably spoke too fast. But
That's brilliant,
But that's who we are. We're not, and I think typically logistics, think it's warehouses, it's pallets, it's warehouse operatives who are just, you know, minimum wage, which that's not the case. It's high tech, you know, robotic engineers, there's marketing teams in the offices, there's HR, there's highly skilled jobs, not only for people who do want to do a warehouse operative job, it gives a full spectrum. So for us, we see rugby as our flagship basic project because of all the merits that we discussed at the start. So, you know, we're obviously quite passionate about it, and Jake will now go on to the ANPR situation and hopefully give you guys some comfort. So
That's good, thank you. That's really appreciated. Good, yeah, great, thank you.
Is there any questions on that just before we jump into?
Well, no, the only question you've already answered regarding the fine. So
Oh, this is-
I
that's-
wouldn't
yeah,
know
that's-
you're going to police it. but
Yeah,
it's
so
through fines.
the fine system itself is, so we have the route management strategy as part of the planning application, so it is all online, but I can send it across to you guys if needed. The strategy is it's a 3-strike offence. So firstly, before any fines are issued, not only obviously do we put the cameras in, but we try and enforce it beforehand. So notices go out, training given, everyone is informed. The sat-navs are programmed basically not to come through here, so this is a restricted route. Obviously, if someone goes on their iPhone and puts on Google Maps, you can't stop that, but as in the actual...
Second question, so you answered that.
Yeah, so those strategies are put in place.
Is there a time limit on this as well? I mean, is this something indefinite, or is this something that open for a couple of years?
No, it's indefinite. It's part of the requirement, and we'll be putting it in.
for a bit of context, we can't occupy a building until the discharge is conditioned.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we have a discharge condition, which is putting the cameras in place, getting your guys' approval, we can't trade out of the building. So it's quite restrictive in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's where the urgency, and appreciate that it wasn't appropriate how the emails were sent, but the urgency came from that. As in, obviously, we told them our deadline for occupancy, and they'd obviously taken that quite intense and sent across deadlines for you guys, which again we
Well, I don't think you realise, in all fairness to him, that they'd love the Warwickshire County Council, because he'd spoken to Warwickshire County Council,
yeah.
and it was sort of, I think it was only when Mike Cunningham came back and said, well, they're Dunchurch, these are ours, but they're Dunchurch's lampposts and they own and look after their own lampposts, and I think that's where and then it just became like a big snowball, shall we say.
In hindsight, we should have sat here probably 3 months ago and said, right guys, this is coming down the lane, let's walk around the village, just look at the lamppost, are you happy with that? Yeah, that looks good, okay, fine, tick, we're off. But we've sent it to you cold without giving you any upfront rationale for that, and understandably so. I'll be very frustrated and I'll be...
It is that lack of interaction, which clearly you would want to do, and hopefully we can do in the future, but it is that lack of interaction that's been missing on this occasion, which we have told relevant persons.
Yeah.
And I hope that this meeting sort of puts that any ill feeling or any sort of
100%.
like I say, we take the steam out of the anger, which seems to be coming across in emails. This is the whole purpose of this meeting today, really, is not only to hopefully move forward, but also to build that rapport with yourselves as well.
It's good. It's good way forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say a question?
No,
Far in there.
Thank you for the background, really helpful, got it.
Yeah.
That was excellent. Just slight tangent question, but in terms of if these cameras picked up crime or something that had happened in the village, in terms of the data or in terms of what they pick up, because they could pick up quite a bit,
Yeah.
what is the access in
They They only pick up registrations.
So
and
it's
it's
just
just-
registration.
it just picks up registrations.
GDPR for
Yeah.
reasons.
One
that-
pick up.
So I won't be filming you that
No.
won't be
So if there was an accident with
No,
those registrations,
It's just the that'd be our cameras.
it would just be our
Yeah,
cars.
that
You'd
would-
just be picking up the reg plates
Correct.
of
Yeah.
those vehicles.
Yeah.
Vehicles.
Yeah. So what will happen is that the vehicle will go in through Dunchurch Crossroads. We'll have a database that everybody who comes in and out of our site,
Right.
they'll go into a system, they'll match the plate and be okay, right, so this lorry just left our park, it's gone through Dunchurch, bang, we've got him, and then Jake will go on to how that's then managed.
Right.
So-
it's, done,
so-
it's done through plate.
Yes.
Simple plate.
Right.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got off the tangent. Right.
Yeah, so each of our units, even though obviously Joe said Iron Mountain are taking up the majority of the space, we're future-proofing it. We could really put a set of cameras just on the exit, because at the minute Iron Mountain are the only occupier, but if they fall away or anything happens, then it's difficult to manage who's actually in breach of that condition.
Yeah.
So cameras are being put on every single unit's yard, so that we know every vehicle that goes in, if it then comes out, or if it came straight into the unit and had gone past one of these cameras, we know exactly who's in breach of it. We can trace it back to the driver, because everything is
How does
signed
that
up.
cope with GDPR though? So if you pick up my registration plate, are you allowed to pick up my registration plate and actually have it on your system?
No, it doesn't. So the cameras have technology that identify vehicles that are HEV, so 7.5 tonners. So it obviously, again, it blocks out anyone that could just be driving to and from the site. The main purpose is for the HEVs, because the infrastructure here is just not suited for it.
Yeah.
And I think this is quite common across quite a lot of different developments where there's probably in and out of lorries, and it's quite nowadays a lot of planning applications enforce this, because people like yourselves aren't very keen on these lorries coming into areas that they don't really need to be in. So it is becoming more and more common, and the technology is ever getting better and more sensitive and more focused.
You're probably aware it's a heritage, essentially it's a heritage area, and a lot of the buildings don't have stable foundations.
Yeah.
So since lockdown, isn't it? And people are buying, we're getting more and more Amazon wagons and everything coming through. And people are saying that their houses will that you can feel them shaking when you're in them. So if we can lessen that, some of the 1600s.
And also, if there is queuing, obviously these guys want to get on the motorways because it's cost possible. Queuing at Dunchurch.
They don't want to be coming through there. No, they don't want to be coming through there.
No.
That's the that would be ideal, and that's what the M45 was built for.
Exactly.
Really.
And that road is, it's empty, isn't it? Really?
Empty. Yes, that's it. That's the. But that's filled me with a lot of confidence.
Is there any data between the lorries going through an area that they shouldn't be and the fine landing? And can you tell it actually, does it work? Is it a real deterrent?
So we have it. So the reasons we went and tendered obviously this to put contractors, the guys that we've selected Anchor are already on one of our existing sites, and so they're already working at Cllr, and we wouldn't have picked them if they weren't working, because it doesn't work for anyone. We want the success rate, because at the end of the day we don't want complaints, we don't want people, obviously, incidents with HEVs going through villages. So for us it is a benefit for it to be in place and efficient.
And also, for us, we've got future applications on the site coming forward. What we don't want to do is lose credibility with you guys. We'd rather be saying that we're going to do this, and then suddenly you see a queue of HGVs down the road. It's like, well, come on, guys, you literally just said to us you're going to be doing a deterrent, and it's not working. So,
yeah.
And these fines, you get a warning and it gets into a cash fine. For these drivers, it's quite a significant amount of money, and
that's the big deterrent, because beforehand people were just issuing a fine to the occupier.
Yeah.
What does £100 fine for that to them is nothing, but when you do it to the driver, then immediately everyone's like, well, that's a free. They're just working for free, and if they break those rules, so they're clearly never if they don't do it.
You only need one or two, don't you? And that's it. That's everybody gets the message.
Yeah.
Work it out.
Absolutely.
the key thing, I think the most important thing, which Jake alluded to, is that it's training, it's signs. Everything will be, you can't turn here, and it'll be very focused to this, because we want to keep you with good books and do and rugby's be a positive, hopefully, impact locally. I appreciate there's a lot of concern, but it's one thing we can control, and we want to make sure that is in place.
So regarding the installation of these cameras, how do you go about it? I reckon I would imagine it's a relatively straightforward process, but we have identified obviously the lampposts that you're proposing.
Yeah, I've
one of them's leaning. I noticed.
Well, they're different lamppost ones I have, because I've got lamps 5 and 6. Well, it's not. They're not lamps 5 and 6.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of
I saw this. I've printed out the exact one. So Anchor have been out, and I've got the report here, which is all the loading for each of them. They've walked it. They were here actually earlier today, just to confirm it all. But the
that's right. Oh, I saw somebody taking pictures of lampposts. Yeah.
I think the reason why when Jake shows, I think because the lamppost, because obviously we need electrical cameras.
Yes.
It'll just be rest assured that obviously we'll be paying for the power used on the camera. That will be coming from your.
Yeah, when I asked to sort of if there was any sort of letter that we could see that there was an arrangement there, or at least, I mean, even if you sort of redact anything, but essentially if there is some
I can say
evidence that they,
I've seen it personally.
It's an unmetered connection we will have. So
but if we can have some form of paperwork, just literally just like I say, redact any sort of sensitive information out.
So what other lorry routes have you got? M45 that goes southbound.
Yeah.
And then I presume if you go northbound, you go up the Relief Road, the M6 or straight to the A45.
That's the plan, yeah.
And all the drivers know that, so there's no takes the
Yeah. So and again, as part of the routing strategy, I mean, you can see it on this plan here, which
Backstage, isn't it?
that shows the routes, and obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it is on one of the older ones with lampposts.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
That's
So
column 6.
that's probably
Not-
easier, isn't it?
So I think Harry Barnes
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
My
now.
only
It's
concern,
never
when
used
I
on.
walked in the other day, that column 6 for some reason seems to be leaning more than I remember.
Well, you've got a different 5 and 6.
So just what
So because I think they looked at that one.
14, what about getting east then? So you've got north, south, what about east? west?
There's those ones, yeah.
Yeah,
that
so
one.
that would
Yeah,
be
they're
just
actually fine.
when it's an
Yeah,
area
yeah,
sort of
Well, that makes more sense.
free for all in terms of.
Well, I did wonder because the relief road was essentially going on.
Yeah.
That would be the
Very
discussion
small
of where we're doing the
Yeah.
routing.
That's
To
actually
be held in the warehouse and Vanilla and so on.
It shouldn't be coming
That's
into
what
the
it's
village. It should be going
It all
right.
depends on where the end user is. So, for example,
Oh, yeah.
the guys are taking this building, but we're still working out what's going to happen inside. And if it's archive storage,
Yes.
you know, movements aren't really massive because
Unless they're going to be told
stock
to come
can
out.
stay in the warehouse. But equally, it might be different end user. So,
So just, sorry, we're
here.
just looking at the new position of 5 and 6, are you aware there's a relief road going into the...
So-
Yeah, the
Homestead
Yeah.
Road.
So all traffic coming out of the yard, like it is now, has to turn right.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. So
So there is no turning left?
No.
Yeah.
Which is what's really helpful with the enforcement is it's difficult if you're far away and these cameras are there and the instructions are you can't, once you go left you can't go right, and you have lots of different instructions. Ours is very black and white. Do not turn left outside.
Yeah.
Unless it's for a delivery that someone has to do, which you know.
That's yeah.
Yeah,
And you can't not.
you can't-
That's very
you can't.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you should be there, it's fine. If you shouldn't be there,
Yeah.
that's the other one.
But obviously, yeah.
I think that's what that
That's all we
means.
needed to see.
I'm assuming I'm not the most technical person. That little thing there is the bit that's going to take the meter in to charge you guys for the electricity. That's what that basically means. Okay.
Just to reassure
So just
you,
on the
we've
basic
done the
feature
loading
of it.
test because clearly these poles, we need to make sure the structural integrity of the
No.
column can not that heavy, but just making sure that we're not going to
Yeah.
cause any problems to the stability of the column. We've done those tests, the reports come through, they're happy that the foundations will support a camera.
And the other thing is the suitability. They need to be able to have the appropriate distance to be able to read the number plates.
Yeah.
If there's anything blocking, so along Coventry Road, that is actually the only place we can put them because without cutting trees down.
That's the only bit that's open, isn't it? That's the
Yeah,
only bit
yeah,
that,
and that was the reason for it.
So if you charge a bloke £100 to go the wrong way, what happens if he doesn't pay it? What's the deterrent? Because you might find me £100 or so.
But they're employed by obviously the employer. It's up to the employer if they don't pay that. I guess is it get sacked.
It'll be up to the employer, but
I don't know.
But how many strikes can the employer get before you say you're not going to use them?
and that'll be the relationship between the employer and the employee. For us, as the management company that we'll be party to, we will be obviously reviewing what's going on, and we can speak to the occupier as their landlord and have that relationship. So
the other thing is it's a 6 monthly review on the fine. So if we determine that it's not working, we can increase the fine. It's not just £100, that's it. If it's not working, we increase that until it does.
Although increasing it won't matter if the person is not paying the first place.
I think ultimately it's one of those, if someone says, I'm not paying anything ever again, and you can't make someone physically pay the fine, but in terms of ramifications for that, is an employer going to employ somebody who's breaching rules every day, causing chaos?
What else are they doing in a lorry if they're not?
I don't think
As well, we'll be fining the company, and then they'll pass that on. So as in the company would pass that fine on. It is the reality. So they're not going to sit there and take the fines. So.
And if we were to ask in like 6 months, 9 months, 12 months for data, okay, how many lorries have actually been pinged?
Yeah, we can share.
Can you show us that this is working? That's
I'll just go back to that because if they're not legally, if there's no legal responsibility for not into the village, you might find them. They say, well, I can do it. I'm not legal. There's nothing legal. I'm not doing anything illegal. So, but if employees don't take up that, then
if they're prohibited from coming in, if their company is saying that you are not allowed to use this route, then they are going against they're breaching the law.
Breaching their terms and conditions.
We've got a lease with the occupier. Within that lease, you have to comply with various conditions. One of those conditions is the ANPR camera. If they're not complying with that, then we've got a contractual dispute with the occupier to say, you're not following this, you're not following the conditions that are set out in the lease, therefore you're breaching the terms of your contract. On that basis, we'd have a conversation, but I think we just need to remember that the guys we're dealing with are global companies that have extremely high standards, who probably are more concerned than anybody in the room about this, that they want to be perceived that this is,
these will be marked up with their companies.
It's not Joe Blogg's removals who probably couldn't care less if he's preaching. These guys are here from the 15-year lease, not going to sit there for 15 years and just rack up.
And if you're seeing the same lorries coming through with the same company on, then there's got to be a recompense, isn't there? And that is going to.
I appreciate with every thing, there's always going to be a difficult situation, or it's very rare to get 100% all in. But what we're trying to do is, what we've got in our gift is try and use that most effectively and efficiently to prevent this from happening. Which, from previous schemes which we've used, it seems to work very well.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting in 6 months or in 12 months to go.
Well,
How many lorries left that gate, and how many came into the village? Do you know, like, just because it'd be interesting, and hopefully it would work.
Because and also there's a public part in this. So as part of our construction of the warehouses, we can't turn left, but there's no current cameras in place for that. No. The construction guys will always come from the M45 anyway. But somebody saw a contractor lorry going left. We've got a call from the case officer. Right, Joe, what's going on? You've completely invalidated your construction management plan. I speak to the contractor. They get absolutely berserk at the lorry driver and say you should not do that, and haven't heard since.
Yeah, and they haven't been through since.
Exactly.
In all fairness.
Yeah, but
they were coming through daily.
You obviously go and report into your team, and it gets escalated, and then we feel that pain as well.
Yeah.
So, eyes and ears are probably the best deterrent out there.
Yeah.
But the cameras work at night as well as day.
Yeah.
What's to stop if the lorries can't come out the warehouse and turn left? What's to stop them coming in through the village?
So
it works both ways.
Yeah,
both ways.
Right,
that's what. So there's cameras looking both directions on every.
And then whilst we get captured here, it will then match the number plate when it comes into the park.
Yeah.
So you can tell where they've come from and where they've gone out.
It says don't turn left, but there's nothing stopping them 5 miles down the road.
There's no sign.
There's no sign. Too late.
But they should already know.
But these guys have fleet management systems. It's all quite technological now in terms of this is your route, this is the quickest way to get there, avoiding bridges and ANPR areas and restricted areas.
They did get the warning shots as well, don't they?
Yeah.
From the first time.
Yeah. But this thing is it's sort of just an evolving process. The first month, that works. Then we need to tweak this, we need to move this, and it's an ongoing, process. But with the cameras in place, we've got the kit there to really start using it. So.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. Is everybody ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do a decision. Okay. So I'm going to propose that we accept and approve the installation of the ANPR cameras sites that we've seen on there, and thank you for Joe and Jake for that's really made a big difference, and thank you for being so open, and yeah, this is the way going forward.
Absolutely.
I think there. Can I have a second, please? SB second. And can I take a vote, please? That's unanimous.
I think just final one, which we'll come back to you and speak to you about, but within our developments we have a community benefit fund that we're looking to invest in local areas. We've done play areas for kids or whatever. But
I love park.
Oh, quite a lot. It's not for today, but
Yeah, but that'd be fabulous.
we'll have to come back and just say that we've got X available. How would you guys envisage seeing it used best? So
Perfect.
that's not for today, but something we can just have a conversation on.
That's perfect, yeah.
And doing it face to face.
Yeah.
And we're quite local anyway.
Yeah,
it took me 20 minutes to get.
I mean, certainly initial correspondence I've signed, but then to actually come and actually talk to us.
Well, let's just have a think about what you guys would think would be appreciated by the local community, and then we can sort of work together to try and make it happen.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got one more item. Item number 4, private session. Does anybody have anything? I don't have anything. There's nothing scheduled. Jill? Cara?
No.
Simon? Gary? Ian? Matt? No, that's it. So we draw to the conclusion of this meeting. Time is 19:05. Date of the next ordinary parish meeting, and the annual parish assembly meeting is the 24th of April 2023.
Just Jill needs just a minute somewhere that Jan, who I didn't sit at this end, did wander in,
She's here.
just so she knows that she did arrive, just in case it.
Yeah, because Jan arrived just before Joe, or just as Joe said hello, Jan arrived. There's no seat at the desk, so she is sat behind.
Hey Joe.
So Jan is present.
She is present. Okay?
Can I talk to you?
You can. We can have a chat afterwards. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it.
Paul, can I just check that off before I get out of here?
I will. Hang on. Aha.
Thank you very much.